right. Well, let's get into these reviews, folks. I only got one movie in this week. I think Cornelius has saw this, but I don't know if we talked about it on the show yet. But
I was off last week.
Oh, okay. But I saw House of Gucci. Directed by Ridley Scott. And get the synopsis and then we'll get the cast. When Patrizia Reggiani.
Nice. Good pronunciation, bro.
I gotta relax. I can't get into my gabagool. An outsider from humble beginnings marries into the Gucci family. Her unbridled ambition begins to unravel the family legacy and triggers a reckless spiral of betrayal, decadence, revenge, and ultimately murder. So this is like I said, it's Ridley Scott. He got two in this year. Kind of interesting. Both of them were dramas. Both of them were kind of period dramas. But this stars Lady Gaga's Patricia Reggiani, Adam Driver as Mauricio Gucci. He's the guy that she kind of gets attracted to and marries into the Gucci family. Jared Leto is also in this. Salma Hayek, Al Pacino, Camille Cotton, Jeremy Irons. Let me just get to stick with the big ones. Jack Houston. I think those are the mains. For the most part, there's a bunch of other supporting characters. I don't know, dude. Maybe because I went in this thing with lowered expectations. It was all right to me. I definitely feel like Lady Gaga is a star, man. She's a good enough actor right now. She's capable of carrying a film because most of the weight is on her shoulders. She's definitely clearly the main character in this, but and Adam Driver, it's kind of cool watching that little romance go down. And I was actually surprised by Al Pacino here, yo. Like I liked him better in this than in
Righteous
no, what was the last one? The Irishman. Honestly, I liked him better than the Irishman, dude. Like I feel like he put up a performance that had some life to it. I know he's old and sometimes actors dry up a little bit, but he still had the life. And the same thing, him and Jeremy Irons. I definitely enjoyed them. And I honestly, a guy that was still in scenes for me too on the low was Jared Leto, who played kind of the lowest on the totem pole Gucci brother. You know what I'm saying? He was And it was funny because he was kind of, I guess he was the family fuck up and no one took him seriously. So he was always coming into the scenes on this really spaced out, odd angle. It was almost like he was Kramer coming in. You got all these rich guys and prestigious, and he'll just come in the room with a weird outfit and just on some next. Like I had fun watching him. He got a couple belly laughs out of me just because he was so outrageous. And his makeup, he's got a big bald head, and I'm like, that's Jared Leto underneath that. you know what I'm saying? Like he just looked crazy. Some of the things that did bother me about the film, the narrative, like it had a really strong start, I feel like, but then somewhere in the middle, we kind of lose a bit of our main characters. And I know they trying to explain, the conspiracy and all that, but it just got a little weird. There are moments I'm like, is this Gaga's movie still, or even the way it comes down. Basically, she gets in her family, and even Mauricio Gucci, he's a member of this Gucci family, his prestigious, but he doesn't really want anything to do with it. So she kind of forces him to step up and take more of a role because she sees the opportunity there, the money. They're kind of in a disarray when she marries into this family. So they're trying to reorganize the company, get it more hip, more, to keep up with the more, popular brands and just kind of, going into the new era of fashion. They were kind of slow behind, sticking to their old ways. So she pushes him up to a level that I don't think he ever really wanted to be. And eventually that caused rifts between the family members, you know what I'm saying? And which also causes rifts with him and her. And he ends up, leaving her for another woman and she can't stand it. And, you can look up the history and see how this thing unfolded. But yeah, and even the way they handled the murder plot, I felt like it just was tacked on at the last minute instead of something that was working up,
like I was telling you, I got the same vibe from this film as I got from all the Many Saints of Newark. It was just it was a lot of stuff happening, but it wasn't very exciting, but it was kind of good seeing Lady Gaga because she did a real good part. It was good seeing Jared Leto playing the character he was playing, but overall, it was just kind of a dull movie, and I expected more from it.
Yeah, and also the ending just felt anticlimactic.
It felt real anticlimactic.
Yeah, because there was at one point where I had to look this up, but Selma Hayek's character, I thought that was just no,
that was real,
but she was a real person, and maybe they could have done a better job of explaining why that relationship was how it was, because it seemed so weird at first that and all of a sudden, they're going from point A to point B, but what about all the in between stuff? Like it was a little weird.
I'll be honest with you, Corey. I really don't like too much when they have like voiceover actors or voiceover like narrating what's happening in the film. But for some reason, I kind of felt that this needed it. Kind of like how Henry Hill did.
You're right.
How Henry Hill did. Was talking during Goodfellas or whatever.
Yeah,
I think something should have been said.
You're right, because I think that could have filled in a lot of stuff between scenes, and you wouldn't have had to put this thing is too long anyway. 2 hours and 30 minutes. It's super long. It doesn't need to be this long, and they could have probably got a lot of more of that exposition out if they added that element. They added the voiceover, and also really a lack of score too was kind of eating at me a little bit too, because it's a quiet film. There are moments.
It doesn't have a score at all, does it?
Nah, there are moments where it bridges where they'll play some popular music from the era, but
but it was it was a dullness to it.
Gucci's and dialogue.
Yeah, which I mean, honestly, the thing is though, this is what is blowing me about it. I sat in the theater for 2.5 hours and I was not bored. Like I don't know what was going on. Maybe my expectations were so low because of the reviews that I saw that when I actually watched it unfold, I was like, "Well, shit, I'm working with this." I really love Pacino, man. Anytime they had a scene with him, and those were the meaty scenes to me because those were the scenes where most of the business was being conducted, the explanation of what they were going to do. So that was, interesting to me. And but yeah, I think it was a rush job. Like it rushed through telling the story, and I think there were moments where they should have paused a little bit more. Like I wanted to see more of that relationship deteriorating because it seemed like they were cool, and then all of a sudden they're butting heads in front of the company. It just didn't seem. It just seemed like, all right, we're doing this because it has to be advanced. We're not doing this because it feels right or a natural flow of a movie. This is just, we got to hit this note so that this thing down this end will make sense. But it just
like I said. I think Gaga shouldn't have been almost playing a Henry Hill type voiceover narrative.
That would have been great. If you stuck on her really got in her head, because I didn't feel like she was a bad person, man. Honestly, I mean, except she did kind of step over the line with the the assassination, but it's like
just trying to kill somebody. No big
deal. But if you look at the character herself, like I think that would have worked. Like if we had this anti-hero person that's generally good, but they just did a bad thing. That's Henry Hill, basically. And I think that would have worked a lot better, in this thing than, I don't know. It's weird. I'm trying to think of other Ridley Scott dramas that really worked. And I think of American Gangster, but that's also a very long film. But on a different aspect, I felt like there's not really a scene in that film that's wasted as compared to this. There's a lot of fluff. And I don't know, man. I would say see it and make up your own mind. I don't think it's as bad as the critics were saying, but at the same time, I don't think it's a great one. It's good that Lady Gaga and others got the just mainly her, I would say, got her chance to flex, and show what she could do. So hopefully that'll lead to her getting better projects because she's here. She's viable.
Me personally, I haven't seen it, so just could I ask y'all 1 out of 5? What do you think?
I'm giving it a 3.
Corny, 1 out of 5.
I give it a 3.
Okay, that's watchable in my book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.